The deadliest risk to your child could be right in your own backyard. We'll have life-saving information for you straight ahead.
Summer is sizzling in the Southland, and that means you're looking for ways to keep your cool. We'll see how some found a way to chill out today.
Plus, surprise inspections of airport shuttle vans. Well, summertime. For a lot of us, that means swimming time. But what you might not know is drowning is now the leading cause of death for young children in California.
Before your kids dive in, there are some pool safety tips you should know. Wayne Garcia joins us now from Tujunga with the details.
That's right, Tani Jane. This is important information. Let's say this one more time. Drowning is now the #1 cause of death of young children in the entire state of California. Every time something like this happens, which is about 300 times a year, it is absolutely tragic. And most times, it is absolutely preventable. All it takes is one moment. One moment to go from this to this.
Baby's in my pool. I think she's drowned. She's not breathing.
And if there's one person who knows all about pool tragedies, it's Steve Johnson. You see, Dr. Steve Johnson is in charge of the Children's Intensive Care Unit at Kaiser Permanente Medical Center.
If you had to see the little kids on a respirator and with tubes everywhere, it's very humbling.
Okay, do you have to do CPR? No!
Last year, just in LA County, some 40 children drowned. 200 to 300 children drowned last year in all of California. And despite what you might think, the drownings rarely happen at beaches. Why?
It's because we have different guidelines. We're much more cautious. We don't let our children in the ocean without somebody right there with them. But we become very lax at these toddlers at the poolside.
Little Joshua almost drowned last month, and doctors fear he is just the first of what will be dozens of children who will be sent to the hospital this summer, picked out from the bottom of a pool, lungs full of water.
It's almost like having a pet lion in your backyard. Basically, they're nice to have, they're beautiful to look at, but they're very, very dangerous.
There are ways to make your pool safer: exterior cameras, pool covers, fences, locked gates. But experts say the #1 thing you can do to keep your children safe is to watch them constantly while they're near water. Constantly and carefully. The doctor told us of one accident that resulted in a drowning where the parents were outside watching their child, but they were reading, and the child still drowned because it can happen so fast. Also, a lot of accidents happen when the phone rings, the parents leave to go answer the phone, they come back and find that their child is at the bottom of the pool. So very, very tragic lessons to be learned. And they're afraid that there are going to be some drownings this year when it gets hot. It's just inevitable, but please watch your children very carefully. Reporting live from Tujunga, I'm Wayne Garcia. Jane, Tani, back to you.
Wayne, what about coverings and gates and other kinds of equipment that you might be able to put poolside to prevent kids from getting in?
Those things work to some degree because they can help a lot of times because neighbor kids will come to a house that has a pool. They'll jump over, and if it's easy access, they get in, and of course there's no one watching them. But sometimes they don't work because kids have a way of getting around those devices. Still, by far, the best thing to do is just to keep an eye on them.
But Wayne, I think you made the point, and it does bear repeating, as a mother of 2 little kids, you can't turn your back on them for a minute. The pot boiling on the stove, the telephone you mentioned, it just does happen so quickly. And for a parent, it's hard to believe that just a minute can make that much difference. But, oh, it's such a tragic reality.
Right. It's such a tragedy when it happens. And one more thing that they advise that you might want to have is a cordless phone. That way you can answer the phone while still keeping an eye on your child.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Thanks, Wayne. Well, firefighters on the front line tonight battling a major wildfire in Northern California, but so far they're fighting a losing battle. We'll take you there.